psychotic. This morning I woke up and chose violence. No, but all jokes aside, in today's video we're going to be talking about Trisha Paytas, exposing the exposer. But before we hop into today's video, this episode of Exposing the Exposer has been brought to you in part by New Smile Clear Aligners. If you would like to save up to $150 off your order of super clear, invisible aligners with absolutely zero attachments that you can do right from the comfort of your own home, make sure to check out the description box below this video. For Canadians, you can check out the link in my bio, and by using the code SPARKLES at checkout, or just using that link in my bio, you will save $150 off your order of New Smile Clear Aligners. And for my American viewers, you can save $100 US off your order of New Smile Clear Aligners using the link in the description box below, or using the code SPARKLES at checkout. And happy smiling! Thank you to our sponsor, and let's hop into the video. So lately Trisha has been exposing a ton of influencers, a ton of creators, and kind of bringing up a lot of good points, loosely veiled as humanitarian activism. But does Trisha Paytas have a darker, ulterior motive? Let's find out. Just as a quick disclaimer, everything in this video is public information and falls under the Fair Use Act. Now, does anybody find it kind of odd that Trisha Paytas is best friends with some of the most problematic influencers, right up until the point that they lose public approval, at which point she kind of tosses them under a bus? Does anybody else find it kind of odd that Trisha Paytas, a woman in her mid-30s, is constantly picking fights with teenage girls and young influencers that are still minors on TikTok? So most recently, you might recognize Trisha for coming after Charli D'Amelio, or Dixie D'Amelio, her sister, from TikTok.
Not do my makeup every day, but every day I don't do my makeup always is the day that the paparazzi comes and finds me, so now I'm getting better at doing it.
It seems a little odd to me that one of the biggest memes in the YouTube music community is constantly making fun of other people's music.
One day, I was really sad. Sometimes I don't want to be happy.
Passing the phone to my beautiful, most amazing girlfriend ever.
I'm giving the phone to my super hot boyfriend.
Passing the phone to the only girl besides my mom and sisters that I just can't live without.
I'm passing my phone out to my favorite pop star, Noah's girlfriend, also known as Charlie's sister.
I'm giving the phone to a person who is a really funny girlfriend.
I'm passing the phone to someone who deserves more than a fake relationship for TikTok views. This is why you're really sad. And you're never gonna be happy.
So, most recently, you might recognize Trisha for coming after Charli D'Amelio, or Dixie D'Amelio, her sister, from TikTok, or maybe Addison Rae from The Tonight Show and TikTok, or maybe you heard about her coming after James Charles, or her smear campaign against David Dobrik, maybe the one that she created against Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star, perhaps the smear campaign against Shane Dawson and Rylan Adams. Now, a lot of these people are problematic influencers, but it makes me raise an eyebrow when she comes after teenagers like Charli D'Amelio, who is quite literally half her age. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are probably going to assume that I am some giant David Dobrik fan, and I'm making this video in defense of David Dobrik. So, at that, I should probably tell you that I have never watched a single David Dobrik video in my entire life, except for his most recent apology video that I had to watch in order to create a response to. So we can nip that one in the bud right off the bat. But what exactly did Charli D'Amelio do to you, Trisha? Why are you constantly bullying her online? What did her sister Dixie do to you? Could it be that they did nothing to you and that you're severely jealous of their platforms, so you're trying to attach yourself to somebody with a big name in hopes that they'll respond to you and give you some more free clout? Could that be the only reason? So recently, Trisha decided to talk about Addison Rae on her Frenemies podcast. Now, I found it a little bit odd that she decided to make fun of Addison's dancing.
It's disheartening. And this is no hate to Addison or Charlie. It's like they don't do the dances justice, really. And you can tell when Addison's doing it, she's doing correct. Like the audience doesn't know what to say.
It also seems a little weird to me that somebody that really desperately wants to be a dancer, to the point that they hire their own personal choreographer for every dance video they make, would come after somebody's dancing, insulting them and making fun of them. Just seems a little out of place to me. Considering Addison Rae has been a competitive dancer since she was 6 years old, she's incredibly flexible, has an entire arsenal of acrobatic skills, and is a very versatile dancer that doesn't hire a choreographer to film every video that she makes. It's kind of weird that Trisha would come after her because she doesn't really have a leg to stand on. And of course she knows she would gain the public approval if she came after Addison for something that wasn't personal, so she decided to say, well, it's just totally not fair, or, well, here's Trisha's words here.
Jimmy Fallon was like holding up signs of like popular dances like Corvette, you know, like those kind of dances, and she was supposed to do them. They did the same thing with Charlie about a year ago. Charlie also did these dances. And they ended up giving credit to the creators in the description, I think, after some uproar about it. But if 3/4 of these dances are by like Black TikTokers, Black creators, like they should be the ones that get to perform this on these shows. And why is Charlie, now Addison, the ones that get to perform? Because Corvette was, you know, Flyboy, like Kiki, like. And I'm only sticking up for this because I do think that's a really integral part. Like the people who come up with dances, like a lot of them are Black. Renegade. Who are the 3 girls performing? Dixie, Charlie, and Addison.
And you know, I think she has a great point there. We definitely should be paying some more credit to the original creators of these dances. But all of this coming from somebody that has been appropriating Black culture for views and for controversy, for personal gain towards their career, their entire career. And Trisha, honey girl, don't you have your own song called Jungle Fever? Just gonna leave that one there. So no, I don't think that Trisha cares whatsoever about the Black community. I don't think that Trisha cares about marginalized communities whatsoever. I think that she literally latches to anything where she knows that she's going to get the public's support because she'll be able to make a good point. But she has an ulterior motive every single time. She just wants to take down these creators. It is personal to her. She wants to wrestle with these creators like a pig in the mud. She's rolling around like a pig in the mud, waiting to pull anybody else into the mud to wrestle with her. And so that is why she latches onto all of these people that have nothing to do with her. And I would go out as far as to say that Addison Rae is everything that Trisha has always wanted to be. She had a nice, quick come up. She is way more famous than Trisha. She has a way bigger platform than Trisha, and I think that Trisha is insanely jealous of all of the opportunities that are coming Addison's way. Trisha's been trying to make music and dance and be a pop star. Trisha's been dressing the same way that Addison dressed in her performance on The Tonight Show for Trisha's entire career. Addison is the exact kind of look, the blonde hair, the girl that everybody finds attractive and everybody finds sexy, and she gets to be on shows like The Tonight Show, and she's getting all of this exposure and all of this attention, and I think Trisha is insanely jealous because Addison Rae literally resembles absolutely everything that Trisha has always wanted to be. A lot of people are arguing that we can't just discredit Trisha because she has mental health issues. And I would say, yeah, that is totally true. You should never discredit somebody that has mental health issues. So I'm wondering where Trisha's apology is to Dissociated. Because wasn't it you, Trisha, that pretended that you have dissociative identity disorder and made a mockery of the entire community, everybody that has dissociative identity disorder, and you used that marginalized community for your own personal gain? To create a giant controversy on the internet knowing full well that you've never had a diagnosis of dissociative identity disorder? I'm pretty sure that was you. You're already not worth me spending this long creating a video about you, but I could create an entire compilation of times that you've called people crazy, or going as far as to call people like Gabby Hanna a sociopath in an attempt to discredit her for her mental health. Now, I think it's really interesting listening to your smear campaign against Shane and Ryland and Jeffree Star because you've known how problematic they are for literally 10 years because you're that problematic yourself, and you had no problem latching onto them and using them for all of this free exposure for years and years and years until they were no longer favored by public approval. Because Trisha, wasn't it you that did blackface, just like Shane Dawson? Wasn't it you that released a song called Jungle Fever? Wasn't it you that braided your hair in box braids just so that you could start a controversy? Wasn't it you that did all of these things? Now, I totally agree with most of the points that are being brought up about Shane Dawson, David Dobrik, Jeffree Star. Like, all of these people do have problematic ways, and she definitely has a point. But Trisha, isn't it also you that dated a pedophile and also defended him too? In terms of caring about victims of SA, like she brings up, wasn't it you that made a tweet that says, and I quote, "When Trevor Moran turns 18, I'm so ready for him, I can hear you echo in my pants"? I'm pretty sure that was you. Wasn't it you that said, am I a pedophile to want to bang Scotty McCreery? Probably, so I'm just gonna say I really love him now. Turn 18. Wasn't it you that also tweeted about Justin Bieber saying, Justin likes curves. Baby, I know you're underage, boo-boo, but these bumps and humps on my body would gladly go to jail for you. So I'm pretty sure that all of those tweets could be considered SA, just gonna say, and I don't think that you care at all. I don't think that you care about potential SA victims of James Charles or David Dobrik, because you hung around David Dobrik and the Vlog Squad for a really long time before you decided it was time to expose them. I'm pretty sure that you hung out with them right up until the point that you drove through the front of Jason Nash's house while you were on meth. Allegedly. So again, I do think that she brings up great points, but she uses her humanitarian activism to weaponize the public against people. She doesn't care about these marginalized groups. She doesn't care about victims. She enjoys taking people down, and she gets some kind of sick pleasure from it, especially if it's somebody that has wronged her. Trisha, to me, is the most vengeful, revenge-seeking person on the internet. I just find it a little bit sus, all of Trisha's sudden support for victims of SA, because Trisha literally stood by Shane Dawson while he was making sick jokes for years, and she didn't say anything about it. She didn't bat an eye. She was there right with him, making sick jokes on her own Twitter and in the public. She didn't care, because she doesn't care. She only cares about taking people down. She doesn't care about anybody else. She doesn't care about James Charles' potential victims. She doesn't care about any victims of SA, or else she probably would have brought this matter to the attention of the public before, when it wasn't in very specific cases where she has a personal vendetta against these people, or they have a giant platform so she thinks she can gain some clout from them if they respond to her. She would be talking about actual cases of SA. She would be talking about people that have been victims. She would be talking about all sorts of cases of SA that have actually been proven, and not just alleged cases on the internet where she thinks she can gain a little bit of clout from talking about it. She doesn't care. Also, if she cared about the victims from David's situation, why didn't she report it then? Oh, why? Because she only cared about her and her relationship to Jason Nash until that went wrong, and then she decided to expose everyone. She doesn't care about victims, she cares about taking people down. And Trisha Paytas, I've been hearing that your fiance Moses has been suffering alleged domestic battery at your hands. So, I don't know, just gonna leave that there. But anyways, those are the specific cases that I wanted to talk about in today's video, because I just think that it is so sick that Trisha Paytas can get away with being an awful human being for so many years, and making a mockery of and harming so many marginalized communities. And she just keeps getting away with it, because after every single controversy, she points out somebody else's controversy and weaponizes herself with some loosely veiled humanitarian attempt, because she knows she can garner the approval of the public if she latches onto somebody that is doing something worse than her. Meanwhile, she's been committing heinous crimes against humanity for years. To conclude this video, do I think that Trisha Paytas brings up many good points? Yes. Do I think that she cares about them at all? Absolutely not in any way, shape, or form. Do I think that she's going to continue this behavior and she's going to continue harming marginalized groups for her own personal gain? Abso-freaking-lutely. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. That is it for this video. As always, make sure to be weird, be wild, and stay sparkly, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye!